sínú ìjọba ṣùgbọ́n gbà tí mo súnmọ́ ìjọba díẹ̀ ó ní nǹkan tí mo ṣe láì sínú ìjọba ó dẹ̀ olórúkọ ó lákọọ́lẹ̀ tó jẹ́ wípé ara ẹ̀ ló wá jẹ́ kí n rí pé tẹ́ bá wọ́n sọ àwọn kó jẹ́ pé àfisìn ìlú ni ara ẹ̀ akọ́ bus stop nípa pé mo lo ipò mi tí ò sínú ìjọba ṣùgbọ́n ó súnmọ́ ìjọba díẹ̀ mi gba sísì lọ́wọ́ ìjọba tá a fi kọ́ bus stop 6 sínú Ìbàdàn mo á rí pé ipò yìí dùn láti fi sin àwọn èèyàn tá a bá lò tá a rá àwọn tó yẹ kó wà ń bẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ara àwọn tí mo gbé wá ń gbà yẹn tí mo taari àwọn kan wá sí ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun pé ẹjọ́ ẹjẹ́ a lọ wá Ọ̀ṣun gangan nílùú mi ẹjẹ́ a lọ wá báyìí ara tó ń sọ mọ́rọ̀ ni pé ṣé mo mọ báwọn olóṣèlú ṣe ń ṣe mọ àwọn iléeṣẹ́ aládàáni yìí wọ́n máa ń fẹ́ kó díẹ̀díẹ̀ wọ́n ní pé àfi tó bá yẹ pé mo wà nulẹ̀ àbí tó bá jẹ́ wípé mo lè fi dá wọn lójú wípé bí mo ṣe tì wọ́n lẹ́yìn láti rí pé wọ́n ṣe àṣeyọrí ní ìlú bẹ̀yẹn làwọn máa lè.
ẹ ṣeun Fẹ́mi.
All right, thank you. So we'll move to the candidate of the Labour Party, Musiliu Oladimeji. So aside your stint with the NCP about 20 years ago, there are those who believe that you are relatively new in the political space here in Osun State. This means that you particularly do not have any political antecedents that can be assessed with maybe as a time in office of what you've done in political office. What proven qualities would you position as your argument, or do you think you bring to the table that the people of your federal constituency can use to assess you and say, okay, this is what we've seen that will be the reason why we'll vote for Musiliu Oladimeji to represent us?
Representing people doesn't really mean that you are in government alone. The wrong perspective is that I fought against dictatorship in this state. I fought against many things. I work with Wahid Lawal, with Amitolu Shitu. We have done a lot. This what we have done is enough to certify the people that we have the quality and the capability to govern and to lead them. What I'm asking for, I'm not asking for executive position. I'm asking for representative position. And the representative position started from what you have been doing, how far you have been representing people in different capacity. I said in the human rights community, I'm not a novice. I'm a well-known person and I've done a lot. In political arena, I've participated in enthroning power and government. I told you my contribution during our IREPODUN regime. I told you I was the leader of the ROHUs. These are the mobilization groups that have moved into the people. People know, you have to go to the grassroots, meet people. When I came up now that I want to contest, it doesn't give me problem because many people in the state, particularly my federal constituency, knows me very well.
Ẹ ṣeun, Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Maruf Adéwálé, ní inú ètò ìdìbò ètò òṣèlú tó wà nídìí ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ ṣe mọ̀ pé ọwọ́ ní síwájú ijó òṣèlú ní síwájú ètò ìdìbò nínú ìdí òṣèlú tó sopọ̀ mọ́ ètò ìdìbò tá à ń wò lọ́ọ̀kan à ń gbọ́ pé Òṣogbo ń sọ̀rọ̀ kan wọ́n ń pé ọmọ àwọn làwọn fẹ́ kó jẹ sẹ́nítọ̀ ọmọ àwọn làwọn fẹ́ kó lọ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú ṣòfin wọ́n ní ọmọ àwọn làwọn fẹ́ ní ipò méjèèjì wọ́n ń pè ní Òṣogbo agenda pé àwọn sáfẹ́ kó méjèèjì sápò a sì ń gbọ́ wípé ẹ̀yin ní Òṣogbo agenda yìí fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ jókòó sí ìjókòó ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú ṣòfin láti inú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP wọ́n ní ẹ̀yin ní sẹ́nitọ̀ Ajíbọ́lá Bashiru ní Òṣogbo agenda yìí fẹ́ nú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC láti jókòó sórí ìjókòó aṣòfin àgbà ti ẹkùn ìdìbò àárín gbùngbùn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun àkọ́kọ́ ìbéèrè mi sí yín ni pé ǹjẹ́ èròǹgbà yìí sọ tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn wípé ó pé ẹ̀yin ṣùgbọ́n kò pé ẹnìkejì yín tí wọ́n ń dupò díje sẹ́nítọ̀ nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ṣó dùn mọ́ yín pé ó pé yín kò pé ẹgbẹ́ yín ṣó dùn mọ́ yín pé ó pé sẹ́nítọ̀ Ajíbọ́lá Bashiru ṣùgbọ́n kò pé ẹgbẹ́ tiwọn náà lẹ́gbẹ́ kan ṣé inú yín dùn sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó Ṣògbó ń sọ.
Well, am I to respond in English or Yoruba?
Yorùbá.
Yeah. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ ìlú rere tí ó fẹ́ ìtẹ̀síwájú ìlú tí a sì ní àfojúsùn tó dáa tó mọ́yán lórí. The word Òṣogbo agenda ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn mo nígbàgbọ́ púpọ̀ nínú ìtẹ̀síwájú Òṣogbo. ká mú ohun mèremère wọ ìlú kí a sì mú lọ́kùnkúndùn kí ni a fẹ́ ṣe tí a fi tẹ̀síwájú àti ìlú àti àwọn olùgbé ìlú. Ìyẹn gangan ni ó wá bí àwọn nǹkan tó ṣèlú lọ́mọ nínú ẹ̀. A dẹ̀ fẹ́ kó jẹ́ pé bàbá ń sọ̀rọ̀ Òṣogbo agenda, Òṣogbo development. A máa sọ̀rọ̀ ìtẹ̀síwájú ìgbélárugẹ ìlú wa. A dẹ̀ máa wò pé ṣé ìgbà tó bá jẹ́ pé òṣèlú wáyé sí ló yẹ ká máa sọ̀rọ̀ Òṣogbo development àti agenda. Kò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Bí a bá fẹ́ wò ẹ wo irú ìgbésẹ̀ tí Air Vice Marshal Àmọ́ gbé tí wọ́n wà ní ipò tí wọ́n sì gbé nǹkan ní ńlá wá sí ìlú wa. Ìyẹn ní Òṣogbo development, Òṣogbo agenda. Ọmọkùnrin kan tó ní IBBDS consult ó ti kó àwọn òyìnbó tí wọ́n ń ṣe òróró nítorí fi èkùrọ́ ṣe tí wọ́n ti kó billions wọlé sílùú Òṣogbo tí ó fi fọ́ Òṣogbo àtọ̀ṣun. Ìyẹn ní tẹ̀síwájú Òṣogbo tó lóṣogbo ní ilẹ̀ tó jẹ́ olúùlú ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. A sì nígbàgbọ́ pé pẹ̀lú pé a mú lọ́kùnkúndùn ní tí wọ́n ń pè ní Òṣogbo development, Òṣogbo progress, Òṣogbo agenda, ìtẹ̀síwájú tí ò ní ṣe quantify, tí ò ní ṣe níye ni ó bá Òṣogbo. Mo sì nígbàgbọ́ pé ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú tá à ń ti ń sọ pé a fẹ́ díje ó yàtọ̀ síra wọn. Èmi wà nínú ẹgbẹ́ PDP. Sẹ́nitọ̀ Bashiru Ajimola ó wà nínú ẹgbẹ́ APC. Ó fẹ́ ṣe sẹ́nitọ̀, èmi fẹ́ ṣe House of Rep. Ó yàtọ̀ síra wọn. Àmọ́ ìlú tí à ń gbé, ìlú tá a fẹ́ kó dàgbàsókè ni, ìlú tá a fẹ́ kó nítẹ̀síwájú ni. A sì nígbàgbọ́ ní gbogbo ibi tólúkálukú bá ti ní àǹfààní àti lọ sojú, ó yẹ kó máa mú nǹkan mèremère bọ̀ ni. Kì í ṣe àwọn ìlú tí ò tó wa, ìlú yẹ ká máa gba nǹkan mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ tá a bá ti láǹfààní àti lọ sojú. So ìyẹn ni èmi nígbàgbọ́ nínú pé ìtẹ̀síwájú Òṣogbo, ìgbélárugẹ, ìmáyédẹrùn, ìmú nǹkan mèremère wọ Òṣogbo tí ì ṣe àsìkò bá tá a bá ń ṣìjọba olóṣèlú padà kúrò lọ́wọ́ ẹnìkan bọ́ sọ́wọ́ ẹnìkan, ìgbà náà la mọ̀ sọ. Ó yẹ ká máa wà ní ẹ̀mí wa, lọ́kàn wa, níṣe wa, níwà wa ní gbogbo ìgbà ni. So èyí ni ohun tí mo fọ̀ jáde fún ọmọ bí Òṣogbo tán wà ní Nàìjíríà àtàtàn wà lókè òkun pé ká mú lọ́kùnkúndùn o. Kì í ṣe ìgbà tá a bá ń ṣòṣèlú ló yẹ ká máa sọ̀rọ̀ pé a máa sọ̀rọ̀ agenda, development àti progress. Ojoojúmọ́ ló yẹ kó máa wà lókàn àyà wa. Mo sì fẹ́ fi dá wọn lójú pé tí wọ́n bá fún mi láǹfààní àtòrè ọ̀fẹ́ bí à ń ṣe ń sọ lọ́wọ́ ìtòrè tó lọ mo jáde irú tẹ́ ń sọ ìwáyé nǹkan míì ní bàtà ń fọ̀ lóhùn. But a fẹ́ máa sọ yẹn mọ́.
Ẹ ṣeun Fẹ́mi.
All right, so we go to the candidate of the Labour Party here. The office you are running to occupy.
SDP, Social Democratic Party.
The candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, Bolaji Oyekomi.
Right.
The candidate you're seeking to occupy has had about 3 occupants since 1999, from Leo Awoyemi down to the last occupant, Bukoy. What gaps have you noticed in their representation that you intend to address? What would you do differently to affect the lives of your constituency if elected into office?
Thank you very much. First of all, I need us to recognize that our society is in a dire state of urgent intervention. It means that we do not want to go by the books. By that I mean we do not want to go by asking for, going there to make laws and bringing constituency projects as is common now. That's because there are very many gaps that the executive, as it is now, cannot fill. And that's the truth. There's a lot of poverty in the land. There's a lot of joblessness and many untoward things that need urgent intervention. It means that the gaps they're not what I want to feel now. I want to come urgently to come and say and determine what things they did not do. For example, identify some unfinished projects that needs to be sorted. One of them is bridges. One of them is a construction project that was initiated by the then our respected leader in Ilobu, the former deputy speaker, Babalasun. This among many other things. But then, now I am coming to not only come to recognize that there is OSOGBO steel rolling company that is in Atos. There is the what's it called now? The machine tools, which requires urgent intervention. But beyond all of those, I'm paying a lot of attention to developing entrepreneurs, and I'm giving a lot of attention to inviting investors. Some of them are already, you may know, you may not know, already I've pushed out a project to empower 200 people out within my constituency across the 4 local governments. I'm teaching them, I'm giving them full scholarship on tech skills acquisition. These are things that we need to see. I've gone around to campaign and I've seen how much people are in hunger and poverty that is not explainable. And so I am saying I'm coming there not only to identify the gaps, but I'm coming for a rescue plan to ensure that our youths who are hardworking are gainfully employed. I'm bringing tech, I'm bringing it massively. I'm giving a lot of attention to the agrarian economy. I'm giving a lot of attention to, of course, bringing equipment, tools for farming. I'm bringing a lot of attention to branding and packaging our young people very well, artisans especially, inclusive. We are going to retrain. We are going to train and retrain them.
Ẹ ṣeun. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Musili Oladimeji nkọjá sọ́dọ̀ yín pápápá. Àwọn kan sọ̀rọ̀ yín a sì gbọ́. Wọ́n wí pé Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Musili Oladimeji tinú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Labour Party wọ́n ní alákatakítí ẹ̀sìn ni. Pé béèyàn bá sì dìbò fún yàn tí ó lọ ṣojú ẹ̀ l'Àbújá kò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ alákatakítí ẹ̀sìn. Pé béèyàn bá wo kan yín gangan wọ́n ní ẹni Àbújá. Pé ẹ̀rù ń bá wọn kan béèyàn bá ní kíró ilé ọwọ́ adolóṣèlú kó wà ní ìjókòó ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ aṣojú ṣòfin pé ṣé kìí ṣe pé ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀sìn ìní ọmọ bá kàǹkàǹkàn ṣé ọkàn àwọn èèyàn ṣó lè balẹ̀ lórí irú èèyàn tẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sìn tẹ́ ẹ ń ṣe pẹ̀lú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe gba ẹ̀sìn ṣé kìí ṣe pé ẹ̀sìn ọmọ kó sínú ìṣèjọba.
ẹ ṣe gan ni mo ti wà nílùú Òṣogbo yìí láti bàtàn ti bí mi ni o kì í ṣe pé mo wá láti ibì kan àbárè kan tí wọn ò mọ ẹni tó bí gbogbo èèyàn ni ó sì jẹ́ mùsùlùmí àbí kìrìsìtẹ́nì ìkan ló mú tàbí kò tún jíǹbà ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa àwọn tá a jọ dàgbà ọlẹ́sìn ìbílẹ̀ ni wọ́n nílé ìyá mi nílé Àdùnní Olóòṣà ẹlẹ́sìn ìbílẹ̀ lájọ dàgbà so tán bá sọ pé alákatakítí lèèyàn ẹnìkan mẹ́rin wá ni alájò ni mo ti wá nísìn wọ́n ti sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ń gbà tó wà ní Kánò àbí wà wà Màdúgùrí ìlú yìí ni mo gbé dàgbà àjọṣe mi àtàwọn Christian ìlú yìí ọ̀dànmọ́rán àwọn oníṣẹ́ àbílẹ̀ mọ́ ń sọ ìkan nínú àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa Ṣàngó Dáre wọ́n kú láìpẹ́ nígbà tán ṣàìsàn mo lọ kí wọn àfáà ni mí mo lọ kí wọn nítorí pé àbáṣepọ̀ ọmọ ìyá ogun mọ́rán ẹ̀sìn wa tún kọ́ wa yí pé ànábì wa sọ pé àwọn èèyàn wọ́n máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa alábàágbé títí tó fi jẹ́ pé àwọn ọmọlẹ́yìn béèrè pé àbá alábàágbé ò nípìn nínú ẹrù wa ni ìtumọ̀ rẹ̀ ni pé ó di dandan fún ọ tó bá jó nígbàgbọ́ òdodo alábàágbé rẹ̀ ò gbọ́dọ̀ kọsẹ̀ látara rẹ̀ so orúkọ Abu Jihad lárúbáwá ni ìtumọ̀ rẹ̀ ni pé olùgbìyànjú látijọ́ tí wọ́n ti bí mi èmi máa ń gbìyànjú ni o ní táwọn èèyàn bá ní ò ṣeé ṣe èmi ò lọ ṣeé ṣe o irú ilé àwọn ọmọ akíndé kan èmi kí n bá ti korí bọ́ ọlọ́run ọ̀lànà so ìtumọ̀ Abu Jihad nù tẹ bá sì rí ilé ìwé mi Al-Jihad ni ó ti lé ní 27 years títí ń jẹ́ Al-Jihad ń gbọ́ pé bóyá ẹgbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ kan pé nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ tó jẹ́ alákatakítí ẹ̀ta bá ra àwọn tó sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ àsìkò òṣèlú la wà wọ́n lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ àdìsàn tó wù wọ́n.
Sure.
All right, so the candidate of the PDP, Maruf Adewale, so your election comes the same day with the presidential election, and that's in 9 days' time. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the presidential candidate of the APC, will have his own election on that same day on the ballot for the presidential election. What effect do you think that presidential election will have on your fortunes? Some people have said it's the turn, the ethnic sentiments of Omowani, Ejioshe, and said that could have an impact on your fortunes on election day.
Well, I welcome that question. I want you to believe that the emergence of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu as APC candidate will not have any adverse effect on my emergence as House of Rep member to represent Osogbo Federal Constituency, because the so-called APC, they've been tested and they failed the entire nation. So all patient of life or perhaps status and ministry in Nigeria today were in comatose. The economic is not moving, and the day-to-day running of governance has not been what it used to be in the past. Look at what is happening and the suffering we are passing through, the agony we are passing through in the last 3 weeks. You have your cash at hand, a directive came and you take your cash to the bank and you cannot have access to that cash anymore. That is part of their policy. So they are just adding to our hardship. So the level at which the suffering we are experiencing now is becoming unbearable. So that is why you can see in the July 16 election, the Osun people, they've spoken and they fought massively and aggressively to say no to bad governance. That led to the emergence of no other person than the incumbent governor of Osun State currently, Senator Nuruddin Ademola Adeleke Jackson. So with that result recorded in Osun State in the last July election, so I want to be convinced, and I am very, very much optimistic that we are coming out victorious. I am coming out victorious in the next election. So without fear or favor, without intimidation, without harassment, without attacking personality. So we are canvassing around all the nook and cranny of the Osogbo Federal Constituency. So my campaign devoid of campaign of calumny, campaign of hatred, hate speech, you can't see it or record it in my outing, and I've visited all the nook and cranny, and my people out there, they've endorsed me. Through that endorsement by the important personality in the Federal Constituency, I'm very optimistic that I'm winning this race, inshallah.
Thank you.
Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bọ́lájí Oyèkánmi, ẹ jẹ́ n tún padà sọ́dọ̀ yín lédè Yorùbá. Àwọn èèyàn kan ń sọ̀rọ̀ wípé ẹ̀yin gan ò dá orúkọ ara yín jẹ́ nínú ìdíje yìí. Bí n bá tẹ̀lé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe kọ́kọ́ júwe ara yín gbà tẹ́ wọlé, ẹ kọ́kọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ lọ sáà nípa bàbá yín, nípa màmá yín. Wọ́n lẹ́ gọ sẹ́yìn orúkọ bàbá pé nílùú Òṣogbo ní ẹkùn ìdìbò yìí gan káti ilé kẹsọ̀rọ̀dẹ̀. Wọ́n ní wọn ò tiẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ mọ̀ yín lu Òṣogbo tẹ́ ẹ ti jẹ́ ọmọ ìlú, tẹ́ ẹ sì jọmọ ọba. Wọ́n ní wọn ò wá tó mọ̀ yín káàkiri gbogbo àwọn ìlú àti ìletò tó wà ní ẹkùn ìdìbò yìí. Ẹ dákun, níbi wọn ò bá ti dá yẹn mọ̀, bó o lẹ́ ṣe lè sìn wọ́n. Àwọn tí ò dá yín mọ̀, bó o ni wọ́n ṣe dìbò fún yín. Sáwọn èèyàn mọ̀ yín lẹ́kùn ìdìbò yín, bí wọn ò bá mọ̀ yín, bó o lẹ́ ṣe ń fira yín hàn wọ́n.
Ẹ ṣé, mo dúpẹ́. Àkọ́kọ́ ẹ jẹ́ n fi àǹfààní yìí, ó fún mi lọ́kàn bá tí mò ń ṣàpèjúwe ara mi. Mo lọ sí Unity School Ejigbo ní Ọ̀ṣun lóṣogbo ń bì, ní Ejigbo lọ́ṣun bì. Àti bẹ́ẹ̀ mo lọ sí University of Ilorin tí mo ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ gba oyè ní BA History. Mo serve ní Gbọ̀ngàn. Bí mo yẹ serve tán, mo wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ilé iṣẹ́ mi, Metamorphic Books and Consulting Services lóṣogbo ń bì. Mo ṣe fún bí ọdún kan sọ́dún kan àbọ̀. Ó nira díẹ̀ ni mo fi kúrò nílé, ni mo lọ ṣe ń ta, ni mo lọ tí mo fi padà. Ìgbà tí máa dé, mo ń fara mọ́lé láti mọ́lé mi torí kò síbi tó dàbí ilé. Àtìgbà yẹn a dẹ̀ ti campaign, a ti lọ káàkiri. Ibi tó bá kù díẹ̀ tá a ti dé, a máa débẹ̀ lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta tó bá kù yìí. Ara ń tàwa ṣe ni wípé ìgbà tá a rí pẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú kan sẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú kejì ni àwọn kan dẹ̀ orúkọ wọ́n ti wà káàkiri tó jẹ́ wípé kò ní gbà wọ́n lákòókò láti tẹ̀yàn mọ́lẹ̀. Ọgbọ́n táwa wá dá sí yẹn ni pé àwọn ibi tá à ń lọ àpolongo ẹ̀ lórí social media, àdẹ̀pẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ wá wo ibi tá a ti dé o, ṣùgbọ́n a ti lọ káàkiri, a ti dé àwọn ibi tá a ti dé, wọ́n ròyìn wa káàkiri. Tí n bá kúrò níbi ibì kan mo tún lọ, ṣùgbọ́n mi ti fi mọ́ nǹkan tèmi máa ṣe pé èmi ò ní, torí mo rí pé àwọn ibì kan tá à ń dé, tá a bá ti kúrò ńbẹ̀ màá débò mí, wọ́n tiẹ̀ láyà wọ́n tún ya pósítà níwájú ilé wa lókè balẹ̀. Màá ti gba ẹ, mo ti wò pé ó dà tọ̀, bóyá ká máa pariwo ibi tá à ń lọ, ká jẹ́ káwọn tó máa tẹ̀lé wa kán mọ̀ sínú kán mọ̀ síkùn. Bó rínú mi ò rọ́kàn mi làwa náà fi ṣe. Ẹgbẹ́ wa lágbára Ọlọ́run àwa láàkó eré oko délé gbogbo tí ń jẹ́ tọ́lọ́run.
Ẹ ṣeun Fẹ́mi.
All right, so I mean, so the candidate of the Labour Party, Musili Oladimeji. Now, Peter Obi. Musili Oladimeji Idowu.
Thank you very
much. All right. Peter Obi is the candidate of your party for the presidential election. There has been sort of an Obi way with the candidate getting some traction with young people across the length and breadth of the country. And it's been said that a number of other candidates on the platform of the Labour Party trying to ride on that wave to get to their own political destinations as well. Do you have any independent strategy of your own to become the representative representing the people of your constituency other than this popular Obi support or the popular Obi way for Labour Party?
I think I want to believe that if Obi will win my federal constituency, he will win based on my popularity. Not that I will win based on Obi popularity. I was the one that started the Labour Party and formed the structure from the grass, from the beginning, from the scratch. I have been on ground for a quite long time. Immediately I decided to come out, things started changing. This time around, it's not about Obi, it's about Abu Jihad. It's about myself. And I've been able to do that, and I've been able to move around, and people have been, in fact, I know my brother, when I came up, the tide changed. The idea of Osogbo agenda started changing, and you know that for sure. The idea of Osogbo agenda came up only when he was the only candidate. And when I came up now, people started thinking that, okay, that we have a better option about Osogbo agenda. That's why when you throw the question of Osogbo agenda to my brother, he systematically dodged it. Osogbo agenda is a reality. It's a political agenda. It's not a business agenda. It's not only development agenda. It's an agenda of Osogbo deserve this in a political platform. The agenda that the Senate and the Rep must belong to Osogbo. And we cannot sacrifice Senate for the Rep. We cannot sacrifice what we have for what we don't have. So Osogbo agenda is a political agenda that must come to reality. About my brother's options of being the sole candidate of our Osogbo agenda, I think that was yesterday. Today, it is me and me only. Because my brother himself doesn't even have interest in the Osogbo agenda. He was talking about development. No, Osogbo has a political agenda. The political agenda is that the Senate and the Rep must come to Osogbo. So about my popularity and obedience are working out very well, but it's not. I'm not riding on them. I believe that they will benefit from my personality. Thank you.
Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Maruf Adéwálé, bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe júwe ara yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan.
May I be allowed?
Ẹ fèsì sí tí wọ́n sọ.
One or two things.
Yes, so you have 1.5 minutes.
So as my brother rightly said, you should not misinterpret my message.
Okay, sir.
I said I believe in Osogbo agenda.
Thank you.
But the way we are going about it is what is questionable. I said, why during the transition period, why are we clamoring for Osogbo agenda?
Because that's the time
After that, I contested, and you said you are a contestant. Mm-hmm. You said you contested in the last election.
No. I didn't say so.
But I contested in the last election. We have another son of the soil that surfaced in your debate, in the last debate, about 2 days back. And Barrister Bode Babarola, he's an Osogbo indigene.
Yes.
He's fine under the platform of another party entirely. So the moment we are within in sentiment into politics, so politics apart, the issue of Osogbo Kingdom apart, because I have very wide experience when you are talking of politics than the two of my brothers.
I doubt it.
I've been in the system for more than 30-something years now. And I contested during the no party basis zero, and I won convincingly. I serve in various capacity. I'm pioneer secretary of PDP for 8 consecutive years. So I'm a believer in development progress of Osogbo and not on party basis. I am PDP. I am here to speak in volume in favor of PDP candidates and myself. So why Bashir will be canvassing for his own party? So that is my position. I believe so much in Osogbo agenda, but on party basis we have different opinions.
Ọ̀dọ̀ yín náà mò ń bọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ojú tí àwọn èèyàn fi ń wò yín mo sì mú nínú bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ju ara yín náà nínú ọ̀rọ̀ àkọsọ yín pé ẹ ní ilé iṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe agbó bí n bá sì ń wo àwọn kọ́mẹ̀ntì tí ń jáde lórí àtẹ ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ Facebook bàbá alágbo làwọn èèyàn ń pè yín àwọn èèyàn wa mọ̀ pé kí ló dé tẹ́ ìjókòó sí di ṣàlàyé torí ṣàlàyé ni wọ́n pe alágbo pé kẹ́ ẹ gbájúmọ́ṣẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ ọ́n ṣe jù táyé mọ̀ yín fún kẹ́ ẹ fòṣèlú lẹ̀ fáwọn tó ní pé kí ni alágbo wá dédìí òṣèlú bẹ́ẹ̀ bá woru ọmọ ìyá ẹgbẹ́ ó tiẹ̀ da ẹ̀yin mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tí ẹ wà níbi ìtàkùrọ̀sọ yìí Òṣogbo lẹ́yìn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wò wọ́n báyìí ní ìsìn àwọn tí wọ́n wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yín nínú ẹgbẹ́ Labour Party wọ́n láwọn ti bá gómìnà kan ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn ti bá gómìnà kan ṣiṣẹ́ ó dàbí pé ìrírí òṣèlú wọn bóyá jọ létí tèmi wọ́n fẹ́ kún ju ti tọ̀dọ̀ yín lọ kí ni alágbo wá dédìí òṣèlú tẹ́ ẹ̀ jókòó sídìí àgbo tẹ́ ẹ fi lọ́ọ́ tójú bọ òṣèlú tẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣe rí.
ọ̀rẹ́ rínú mo fẹ́ kí ẹ nígbàgbọ́ kan mo bá gómìnà ṣiṣẹ́ wọn àgbàpò lábẹ́ gómìnà wọ́n ń kó ìjọ́jọ́ fún gómìnà gẹ́gẹ́ bí ordinary member ni wọ́n ń ṣe o èmi ṣe councillor mo ṣe special adviser lẹ́ẹ̀mejì mo ṣe supervisory councillor in charge of agriculture mo gba tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì gẹ́gẹ́ bí olùdíje nínú ẹgbẹ́ tó gbajúgbajà lọ nílẹ̀ Áfíríkà ní 2019 mo tún gba tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì báyìí nínú ẹgbẹ́ tó gbajúgbajà PDP ní 2023 election so mo nínú òṣùwọ̀n ìgbéléwọ̀n pé inú òṣèlú ta ló tóbi mo rú gọ́gọ́gọ́ dáadáa ju àwọn méjèèjì lọ nínú ètò iṣẹ́ mi tí wọ́n ń pè ní gangaria abastoff àbí náà kọ́lé ń béèrè mo fẹ́ fi dá yín lójú pé I've taken that traditional value to another higher level that's beyond the imagination of the people of Osogbo. So tẹ́ bá lọ sí UK, US, ẹ lọ sí francophone countries, ẹ bá bá product mi bẹ̀. So product tó ti gbajúgbajà ó ti beyond the à ń ta ṣàlàyé à ń ta kinní kan. So ilé iṣẹ́ tí mo dá sílẹ̀ tí mo fi gbà yàn bíi 400 irinwó tí wọ́n ń bẹ lóṣogbo tí wọ́n ń kọ́lé tí wọ́n ń ṣe dáadáa tí wọ́n rọ́mọ yunifásitì tán ń jáde nínú ilé iṣẹ́ yẹn tó tún bí ilé iṣẹ́ ńlá mi tẹ́ pé tẹ́ bá kọjá tẹ́ lọ Ìbùkún ẹ̀ rí big edifice tí mo ti kọ́ nínú ilé iṣẹ́ yẹn tẹ́ bá lọ sọ́nà ilé iṣẹ́ àìrí plastic mi. What are we talking? This is a product that is selling like pure water in Nigeria and in the diaspora. So I want you to believe that my experience, my business acumen, and my participation as regard philanthropic gesture to the people, I surpass their own data. So I want you to believe that I'm bringing in new lease of life to Osogbo Federal Constituency inhabitants.
All right, so we'll be going on a short break shortly, but then we asked a question from the candidate of the SDP, Bolaji Komi, just before that break. So you've heard the two of your other contestants talk about the Osogbo agenda. I wonder where you belong in all of this. It's been said that, you know, it's for the big parties, the PDP and the APC are the ones who are factored into that agenda. Where does Bolaji Oyekomi and the SDP belong in this Osogbo agenda? Thank you for the question.
First, again, I would have to quickly attend to this because it's an emotional one for me. My senior brothers here have prided themselves in being relevant and being experienced in politics, and it makes me want to weep because if you've held positions, if you've been elected into offices and you've won or you've represented people in any way, as our government is, as our society is today, then it's speaking wrong of you. It's saying that you probably did not handle those positions well enough. I mentioned that I was not in government directly. I was only close to them, and I was able to facilitate development in where I happened to be close to them there in Oyo State. I built not only bus stops without a kobo from government. I built directional signs across Ibadan, which is not my state. It is heartbreaking. It was at that point I thought I need to bring this development to my states. This is in reference to them having bragging rights on who does not have experience in seeking or using political office. It is not so good. I'm saying that if I get elected by the grace of God, if I have to campaign again, then I have failed. If I get elected and I'm having to convince people to vote for me, then I did not hold that office that was given to me. I did not hold it well. So it's not something to brag about. Whether or not you are popular or whether or not you have experience in politics is something to be shameful about now, as Nigeria is, as Osun is, as OSOGBO, IREPODUN, OLORUNDA and OROLU are. Then to your question, sir, OSOGBO agenda, maybe it's a coincidence, a funny one. Dr. Bashiru, SRJ, is currently the Senate's spokesperson. In my reckoning, I think we should give him a chance. I think we should give him a chance. If he in one term went and got that, and I've been following up on what he's been doing. It's not from my party. My party does not have any senatorial candidate. And then I very much feel that it is in our favor across those 10 local governments to think, put sentiments aside. Let's see, would we have a new person come and be that strategically positioned? I think no. So whether or not it is an agenda, I support it. And then for OSOGBO, I think OSOGBO people should listen to the three of us. Listen not only here, listen to what we've had to say in our campaigns and see who has good interest. OSOGBO constituency has need for urgent intervention. That is what I'm bringing. Unfortunately, the other lady is not here. We would have heard from her.
All right, well, thank you. So we're due for another break. When we return, we'll continue with this Rave FM WSTV Parliamentary Debate Series. We'll be back.
Aminatu, the legendary Queen of Zazzau, is best known to historians as Queen Amina of Zaria, an old walled town and capital of the Hausa state of Zazzau. Amina was a great warrior and the first woman to rule the ancient kingdom of Zazzau. Her 34 years as queen witnessed an unprecedented expansion of Zazzau by conquests. Queen Amina of Zaria belongs to the class of Amazons by the might of her army and her strings of conquests. She opened Zaria to trans-border trade and was said to have initiated kola nut cultivation in the ancient kingdom. The Hausa Muslim figure was born in 1533 and died in 1610 at the age of 77 years. Folklores remember Aminatu, the Queen of Zazzau, as a brave, smart and talented leader whose giant statue now
ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sórí ìtàkùrọ̀sọ láàrin àwọn olùdíje fún ìjókòó lẹ́gbìmọ̀ aṣojú ṣòfin tí ẹkùn ìdìbò Ìrẹ́pọ̀dùn, Ọlọ́rundá, Òròlú àti Òṣogbo. Tí mo bá ṣe ń ṣe bọ̀ láti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò lọ́jọ́ tòní, àwọn olùdíje mẹ́ta náà ló wà níkàlẹ̀ níbí. Àkọ́kọ́ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Maruf Adéwálé tẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP, ọ̀gbẹ́ni Musiliu Ọládìméjì Ìdòwú ti ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Labour àti ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bọ́lájí Oyèkànmí ti ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú SDP. Bá a ṣe sọ ṣáájú, ìyáàfin Abọ́sẹ̀dé Ògolúwakìtàn tẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC, a ò rí wọn ò sì ránṣẹ́. Ó dáa, a ti padà dé báyìí, ṣùgbọ́n torí ìjọba àkókò láti ti rí i dájú pé gbogbo ohun tá a fẹ́ ṣe náà la kó àkóyawọ́ ẹ̀. A bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú èròǹgbà àti ètò tí oníkálukú ní gẹ́gẹ́ bá a ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan. ìṣẹ́jú kan àtààbọ̀ náà ni wọ́n fi bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ nípa èròǹgbà tí wọ́n ní wọ́n bá wa gé pé àwọn nǹkan wo ni wọ́n mú ṣe tí wọ́n bá láǹfààní láti wọlé gẹ́gẹ́ bí aṣojú ṣòfin tí ó ṣojú ẹkùn ìdìbò Ìrẹ́pọ̀dùn, Ọlọ́rundá, Òròlú àti Òṣogbo. ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Musiliu Ọládìméjì Ìdòwú tẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú Labour. kí ni ètò tẹ́ nílàkà fáwọn ará ẹkùn ìdìbò yìí?
ẹ ṣe àkọ́kọ́ ni wípé ìdàgbàsókè ọ̀dọ́, a rí wípé àwọn olóṣèlú ti sọ ọ̀dọ́ wa, wọ́n ti sọ wọ́n di tọ́ọ̀gì, wọ́n ti sọ wọ́n di irinṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ń lò fúnra wọn. pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run ọba màá gbìyànjú láti yí eléyìí padà kí ọ̀dọ́ wa lè wúlò fún wa, kí ọjọ́ iwájú wa sì lè dáa. tí ọ̀dọ́ ibìkan ò bá ti dáa, ọjọ́ iwájú bẹ́ẹ̀ ò dáa. lẹ́ni tẹ́ bá dìgbòrò Òṣogbo ẹ rí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tán mo gbó káàkiri, kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀ bí ọdún 10 sí 20 ọdún sẹ́yìn. ìdàgbàsókè ọ̀dọ́ ó jẹ́ ìkan àkọ́kọ́. ìdàgbàsókè ẹ̀kọ́, mo rí wípé ní àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè kan lágbàáyé lénìí ẹ̀kọ́ jẹ́ nǹkan tí ń mú owó wọlé fún orílẹ̀-èdè wọn, ṣùgbọ́n ní Nàìjíríà ẹ̀kọ́ wa ò mú yín dóko débi wípé yóò mú owó wọlé wá fún wa. tẹ́ bá rí lórílẹ̀-èdè Áfíríkà ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn lọ ń kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ní South Africa. àwọn èèyàn kó owó láti Nàìjíríà billions lọ sí UK, lọ sí Canada, lọ sí America. a gbọ́dọ̀ wá ọ̀nà tá a fi ṣe òfin tí ó mú kí ẹ̀kọ́ wa náà kó dúró déédéé tí àwọn orílẹ̀-èdè yòókù náà máa wá sọ́dọ̀ wa. tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá gbàgbé Malaysia, àwọn náà ti sọ ẹ̀kọ́ di owó. ara àwọn nǹkan tí mo gbà lérò láti ṣe fún àwọn ènìyàn wa ń bí bákan náà, mo ní lérò láti wá mú àbádòfin kan wá tí ó ṣe àǹfààní fún àwọn ọba wa. òfin tó ti wà nílẹ̀ ọkọ̀ fún ọba láàyè, ọba ò ní nǹkan kan ṣe nínú òṣèlú tí ń bẹ lóde nísìn.
ẹ ṣeun ọ̀gbẹ́ni Maruf Adéwálé tẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP, ètò wo lẹ nílàkà fún àwọn ará ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun, fún àwọn ará ẹkùn ìdìbò yín?
mo ti sọ síwájú pé I'm bringing new lease of life as a representative, as a legislature.
Yorùbá.
ìsojúṣòfin, ìgbé àbádòfin tó mọ́yán lórí tí ó jẹ́ oore àtàǹfààní fún àwọn ará ìlú ni ó jẹ́ òkúnkúndùn iṣẹ́ tá a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe ní iṣẹ́ ìrújú wa. a dẹ̀ mọ́ kún àbá tó bá jẹ́ òfin tá a fẹ́ kó dòfin lẹ́yìn tí ó jẹ́ káyé gbẹdẹmukẹ fún àwọn tó lórí tẹlẹ́mù Nàìjíríà tó ṣogbo FEDRAL CONSTITUENCY. a sì sọ pé a sì máa jẹ́ kí a fara wa sílẹ̀ ìfarajìn láti jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn fara rò wá tá a bá wọlé tán. so accessibility tá ní FEDRAL CONSTITUENCY office tí ó jẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn wa ó mọ̀ wá lóòrèkóòrè tí wọ́n fẹ́ bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. mo dẹ̀ tó sọ pé ìrónilágbára human capacity building and development, gbogbo ohun tó jọ mọ́ pé bó o la ti fẹ́ mú àwọn èèyàn wa kúrò nínú òṣì àtìṣẹ́. so creation of job àti provision of job, tó wá sí pọ́dún 4 la fẹ́ lò, a máa provide the job, a dẹ̀ máa create the job tó jẹ́ pé yóò permanent, tí yóò jẹ́ pé yóò lọ títí ayérayé tí a fi lè ró àwọn èèyàn wa lágbára. a dẹ̀ jẹ́ kí ìbáraẹnisọ̀rọ̀ regular civic meeting kó máa wà láàrin àwa àtàwọn tó yàn wá lóòrèkóòrè. a sì tó fẹ́ ró àwọn ìyá wa lọ́jà lágbára láti fún wọn lówó tí wọ́n máa fi yáwó owó tí wọ́n máa fi ṣiṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ní ṣèlélé lórí.
ẹ ṣeun ọ̀gbẹ́ni Bọ́lájí Oyèkánmi, kí lè rògbà yín ìṣẹ́jú kan àtààbọ̀?
ok ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́. àkọ́kọ́ máa rí i pé mo fi etí sí mo fi ọkàn bá nǹkan tí àwọn tó ṣíwájú mi lọ láti parí nǹkan tó ti ṣe kù. ìkejì màá fi ọkàn sí màá fi gbogbo ọkàn mi àti okun mi láti rí wípé ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ìyẹn ẹ̀kọ́ formal and informal education máa rí pé mo fi ọkàn sí láti tì wọlé. ṣùgbọ́n bí gbogbo yẹn lọ èyí tí mo sọ mọ́rọ̀ lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ wípé à ń fẹ́ pàjáwìrì urgent rescue sí báwọn èèyàn iṣẹ́ pàápàá fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́ àtàwọn obìnrin wa. kò ń ṣe báwọn olóṣèlú ṣe máa ń sọ lọ́dọọdún mẹ́rin pé ṣe ń bọ̀ eléyìí tó jẹ́ pé a ti ṣe é jiná. ìyẹn mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò ẹ̀kọ́ fún 200 láti gba tech skills, àwọn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n máa lówó lọ́wọ́ tó máa rò pé yahoo náà ń ṣe ṣùgbọ́n iṣẹ́ tó legit náà ń ṣe. yàtọ̀ sí yẹn mo máa fi ọkàn sí ọ̀rọ̀ ètò ọ̀gbìn bó ṣe máa kó machines wà tààrẹ nínú kọ́bọ̀ ìjọba relationship tí mo ti ní àti rí bá máa fà á débì yìí gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́mi tiẹ̀ fẹ́ ni kí letterhead jẹ́ orúkọ mi pé èmi ni mo àwọn èèyàn máa wá máa dá wọn wá sí agbègbè ìdìbò wa yìí lẹ́yìn yẹn náà máa fi ọkàn sí ètò àwọn ìyálọ́jà bá a ṣe máa yá wọn lówó bá a ṣe máa fún wọn lówó èlé owó tí òṣòwò èlé.
ẹ ṣeun Fẹ́mi.
All right, well, thank you. So we will move to the stage where you ask yourselves questions at this point now. You are free to ask yourself questions and then you'll be able to respond to such question in 2 minutes. But then let's remind our listeners and our viewers that you can follow us live on all of our social media handles on Rave 91.7 FM. That's on Facebook, on Instagram, and then on Twitter. And then for Western Spring Television, check us out on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter at Western Spring Television. Dayo.
Mo gbàgbé bí Fẹ́mi ṣe sọ ní àkókò tá a wà yìí, a kọjá sí ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn olùdíje tí wọ́n bira wọn ní ìbéèrè. Ó lè ní ìdí ó lè ní nǹkan kan tí olùdíje kan fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹlòmíì. Ṣùgbọ́n ibi tá à ń lọ yìí ní ìpele tí olùdíje kọ̀ọ̀kan ó ti kọjú sí olùdíje míì láti béèrè ìbéèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ. Ẹ má gbàgbé bá a ṣe ń kúrèrè lọ́wọ́ lórí Rave 91.7 FM lórí ẹ̀rọ rédíò yín. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ń wò wá lórí Star Times DTT channel 190 nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun bí àti agbègbè rẹ̀. Bákan náà a wà lórí YouTube lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí táwọn èèyàn ń wò wá ní Western Spring Television lórí YouTube, lórí Facebook Rave 91.7 FM àti Western Spring Television. A wà lórí méjèèjì tí ẹ̀ ń wò wá ń bẹ̀. Ẹ mọ́ sì gbàgbé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ní ìbéèrè ẹ sáré jùlẹ̀ sórí àwọn fídíò wa lórí ìkànnì ayélujára lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí bóyá Rave 91.7 FM lórí fídíò ètò yìí tàbí lórí Western Spring Television. Fẹ́mi, Janisho.
All right, so let's get back to the candidates now. So you are free to ask yourselves one question each. And I reckon we start with Maruf Adewale of the PDP. Do you have any question for any of your fellow contestants?
Well, my questions for my Abu Jihad.
Thank you very much.
I want to ask, are you really mean business? Are you really intend to contest as House of Rep member come the next 10th Assembly? If answer is yes, you will not be speaking in support of another party here, because we have a vacuum here. We couldn't see the House of Rep candidate of APC here. She is supposed to be defending his party. So for you now to come out live and direct and be speaking in favor of another party, neglecting your own party. So can you just please respond to that? And I want to also ask, you have all party agents across the Osogbo Federal Constituency to monitor your election.
Those are 2 questions wrapped into one, but you have 2 minutes to respond.
Okay. Firstly, about the party agents, I want to inform you that not only party agents, we have canvasser in 5 canvasser in each polling unit to tell you that not only that I'm serious, I really mean business. On the issue that I'm defending other party, maybe you don't understand what I'm saying. I said Osogbo cannot afford to lose Senate. I'm not saying so party or so party. I'm saying Osogbo cannot afford to lose Senate seat, and Osogbo cannot afford to sacrifice Senate for rep. We need both. I think people are listening to me. So maybe you think that when I say Osogbo cannot afford to lose Senate,
no,
I'm canvassing for
not what
I'm canvassing for SRG. I have candidate in my party who is also indigenous of Osogbo, contesting for Senate position. So if I say Osogbo cannot afford to lose Senate,
but you have to have talk frank. If truly you have your candidate, you have to have talk frank. I'm a bona fide son of Osogbo,
let me tell you,
and I'm a lover of Osogbo agenda, development, progress. You are mixing my point. I said we should not be hammering Osogbo agenda during election only.
No, I said
rather than to concentrate on development and progress and bring in investors so that we can move forward to the next level.
Give me additional time to my answer.
Okay, so we'll 30 seconds.
My answer is this.
Yes.
Osogbo agenda is a political agenda. It's a political agenda. Nothing after that. They want Senate and they want rep. So and they are asking you are rep.
After that, sir, you said it's political agenda. So you should not incorporate development and progress of Osogbo into it. Hello, sir, my brother. We were all in Osun. by the time they are approving university to favor Iwo, where is this man that you are talking about? By the time they are approving a university in favor of Ila. Look, hello, my brother. If truly we mean business, we mean development, progress for Osogbo, we should talk frank and we should talk to our senses that whenever you are given opportunity to represent, you must represent your people.
Let us allow him
honestly, with total honesty.
Respond, yes. So you just conclude on your own thoughts, Mr. Musili.
My response is simple. Osogbo cannot afford to lose Senate and Rep, and I'm not speaking for another party. I have a Senate.
I am winning as House of Rep member in the next election.
I'm not speaking about a candidate of another party. My party also have a senatorial candidate. So Osogbo
but you failed to make mention of your candidate.
Hold on.
You failed.
I'm not being patient, Mr.
No.
So, and I said something that the Osogbo agenda is not about Gangaria. It's not about Gangaria. It was about Gangaria before, but now it's not about Gangaria. It's about who can do it well. And I'm telling you,
are you now saying you are neglecting the remaining local government? Are you not canvassing for the remaining local government?
Thank you.
Because if we were to be the only federal constituency, Osogbo no longer has a constituency. So you can be talking frank like that here. But in a situation whereby we have 9 or 8 other local governments, so we should be pragmatic and diplomatic in our approach to issue. That is the point I'm drawing.
The next opportunity to ask question will be.
I should ask you. Let me ask you.
You can ask anyone.
Your questions.
Yes, you can ask anyone.
So you are a young guy.
Musili Oladimiji is the next person to ask question. You have only one opportunity to ask question.
Yeah.
Okay.
My question go to my brother.
Okay.
Gangaria. He said it in one interview I had that Oderinu had with him. When you ask a question, he said in the last election he has spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think you are asking about one advert also that he didn't play the advert of Osogbo son and daughter, and he said he has spent a lot of money in last election.
Yeah.
And probably he has been spending money now, doing money now. What came to my mind that it was largely reported that he spent almost 150 million in last election. And I believe in this election, if he can spend that in last election, he will be spending close to that amount again. If he had spent almost 300 million to win election, where would that 300 million come from? Or he has just make it a sacrifice. And again, sir, if you are going to House of Representatives and you are spending almost 300 million, it will take you 3.5 years to realize that 300 million before you make profit, before you now serve your people. How do you want to?
Is that the end?
How do you want to manage that spending?
All right.
And the
bring about development.
Okay.
Hello, sir, my brother. The higher you spend in your first outing, the lesser your expenses in your second run.
Okay.
That is the analogy behind it. Currently, I cannot say I've spent 30 million now. That is where the issue of sympathetic vote comes to play.
But is it true that you spent 150 million?
No. It's an insinuation. But if truly you mean business, you didn't brand a single vehicle.
Doesn't matter.
No party member escorted you down to this place. Those are the area that you will spend money. You will spend money on advertisement. You will spend money on visitation. You will spend money for transportation of people. Hello, sir. This is a debate. Yes. And we are coming back here hopefully on the 26th, 27th. Okay. So I am saying loud and clear that I am coming out victorious because I stand advantage of winning the election with the developmental project embarked upon by the Cuban governor. Because all what they have been saying that this one is not possible, this one is not possible, it has been made possible. through the emergence of Senator Nuruddin Adebola Jackson. So we've started sinking of 332 boreholes in all nook and cranny, all wards in Osun State. So we've approved the payment of the accumulated salary to all civil servants. So they are going to cast their vote in our favor. We are starting another surgical operation which we gave advantage to over 18,000 beneficiaries. So and we are kickstarting that project tomorrow. So we have approved the payment of the accumulated pensioner salaries. So all those that I've mentioned, we stand at advantage of winning this election.
Last candidate, last but not the least, we have Bolaji Oyekomi of the SDP. You have the opportunity to ask either of these two gentlemen a question.
Okay, I'll ask my senior brother again, Alhaji Maruf.
Let me.
My own.
He's my brother. He's my brother.
My own desire, my strong desire is that we have a government that is diverses from that there's a diversion from the current. We want a government that will challenge the executive when it happens, because from what we have seen so far, we have seen poor outings of our executives by that governors. Do you not think a good Osogbo agenda should come from another party than the ruling party, than the party where the governor is? Because I'm saying, for example, they are meant to have three forms of government, three different, the legislative, the executive, and they're meant to check one another. Already we understand that the State House of Assemblies are, so to speak, appendages of the executive governors. Would we not be throwing an opportunity to check the excesses of government away if we have the elected governor as PDP and the legislative again as PDP, who will ask questions?
Alhaji Maruf Adewale, you should respond to that because of our time.
Well, my dear brother, to check the excesses of governor as an executive governor and the cabinet is very simple. Once we feed in a credible and knowledgeable candidate as our House of Assembly candidate in all the 26 state constituency. So I want you to believe me that if after the election of March 11, so we are going to be expecting more good things to be happening in Osun State. So leaving that one aside, when you are talking of Federal House of Representatives, they were there as a legislator to checkmate the executive, to supervise all the appropriation of funds to projects at their various ministry and parastatal. So being a legislator, we have that power, if finally elected, to prepare a bill. You submit your bill, the bill, you introduce it, the first reading, you bring it back at the second reading, and through that you can give it an approval at the level of the House.
All right.
And if you send it to the president and the president decided not to assent to the bill passed by the two chambers, you have that right as a legislator to veto that bill.
I'm not very satisfied, but there's not.
So all this.
But we have no time again, so I'm afraid that will be all. Maruf Adewale, candidate of the PDP, we would like to thank you so much for your time on this parliamentary debate series. We appreciate your coming. Musiliu Oladimeji, we wish you the very best of luck. Musiliu Oladimeji of the Labour Party, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Debate series, and we wish you the very best of luck. Bolaji Oyekomi of the Social Democratic Party, the SDP, we thank you so much for coming, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you. I'll throw a party here after my election.
We invited Abosede Ogulu Aketo of the APC, but then she
cannot come because he doesn't have anything to offer the Osogbo Federal
The contention is between me and Gangaria. Sorry, my brother.
And that is what I expect.
Me and him.
That is what
I will definitely
Thank you.
So the contention is
WSTV and listeners on Rave 91.7 FM. This is the second in the series of our parliamentary debate series. There will be more. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned to WSTV and Rave FM. We'll bring you updates when the next edition, the next in the series will come down.